Good morning, students, and welcome to our e-learning session for class 8th. And today we are continuing our chapter number 9, that is our economic system. First of all, I wish that you all are in good health. Wonderful thing. I would like to say congratulations and for your participation in cloud competition. You all did wonderfully. The students, those who are getting the number, heartily congratulations to them. But rest of the students also, wonderful job you all did, and it was very good. See, in competition, participation is important. Whether you got a number or not, that is the secondary matter, secondary thing. But participation is most important thing. So for that, again heartily congratulations to all. And be ready and always be active to part in any type of competition. It is for your betterment. Whenever you are taking part in such a competition, so you are developing yourself. So in all manner, it is wonderful thing. We are planning some more activities for you people. So that is the finest thing. Okay. Let's see on the board. Today's thought is, hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Again, I am repeating. And you have to come out with the meaning. Hard work beat talent. Who beat the talent? Hard work. When talent fail to work hard. See, if you are talented, it's fine. But number of time it may happen, though you are talented in all manner, number of time it may happen that you have to face failure. But at that time, don't get disappointed. Work hard, and obviously and 100% your hard work will defeat your talent also. So in simple term, don't get upset, don't get stressed for anything. Work hard and definitely you will get a success. So this is the starting what we can say. This is the first lecture, we have to start our day with the positivity. Okay, so as you know, we are talking about chapter number 9, that is our economic system. Economic system, I explain you, most of the activity what we perform in our daily life, it is a economic activity. Economic activity where the monetary value will be considered. That what we say is the economic activity. Now, another point what we have discussed, that the few question was the cycle of the rupee was given in your textbook and in your material, journey of a rupee, and from where we learn what type of activities or how the rupee generate or how it's make its journey. Okay. So we can say the economic activity are mainly divided into 3 sections. That what we have discussed. First we talk about the primary activity, that is or the primary sector what we say is. First primary sector, then secondary sector, and third we say is about the service sector. If you remember, we talk about the primary sector, secondary sector and the service sector. Let's take a quick recall, quick revision what it means. What is the primary sector, what is the secondary, and what is a service sector. So, primary sector means what? The certain resources are obtained directly from the nature and are used by us, that is goods, grains, fruits, vegetables, and we obtain woods, medicinal plant, gum, so from the forest, and milk, meat, bone, leather from the animals. So we get a fresh fish from the water and minerals from the beneath the earth surface. So in short, forest, agriculture, mining, animal husbandry, fisheries provided raw material. So the industries which provide the raw material to us, it is called the primary sector. And here we will going to include the forest, agriculture, mining, animal husbandry, fisheries. So they provide the raw material for the food and industrial manufacture products and goods. Thus, this type of activities are categorized as the primary sector. So, the industries or from the forest, from the agriculture, from the animal husbandry, we are getting the raw material. So, this type of industries, this type of activities we will include in the primary sector. Then comes the secondary sector. So, what we will going to include? It is also known as the manufacturing sector. So, certain primary products are such that it has to be processed into the finished products to be of and use to us. So, such a economic activity is called the activity of secondary sector. That is the manufacturing cotton, textile from the cotton, extracting oil from the cotton seeds, making jaggery and sugar from the sugar cane, making the bricks from the soil, small and large scale industries, manufacturing machineries, means of transports, means of communication, electric equipment, consumer goods, chemicals, dyes, clothes, then defense equipment are a part of the secondary sector. So secondary sector, what we will going to include actually? So whatever the raw material they intake from the primary sector and they prepare the finished goods. So that is why it is also called as a industrial sector. See, manufacturing sector, secondary sector, what are the other name you have to keep in mind? Manufacturing industry sector or the industrial sector. These three names you have to remember. Then comes the service sector, most important as I said. It is also known as the tertiary sector. The primary and the secondary sector cannot function without this sector. The raw material of finished products has to be transported to the various manufacturing units of traders for which various means of transportation and infrastructures, railway, waterways, roadway, electricity and other fuel facilities. So become the essential to maintain the communication between the manufacturing trading units, telecommunication, letters, internet are essential to sustain the entire network of production and distribution, education, health, banking, education, health, banking, insurance. This all we consider in the service sector. So this facility are required. So in the modern time, ATM, call center, software designing have become very important services. So this all we include in the service sector. Then we talk about the economic activity also classified on the basis of ownership. If you remember, then we discuss on the basis of the ownership. First we talk about the government ownership. Then comes the private ownership. So on the basis of ownership, we talk about the government ownership. Yes, you remember that what we talk already. Government ownership. Then we talk about the private ownership. And then third we talk about the joint sector. And fourth, what we have already discussed is about the cooperative sector. So let's talk again. So government ownership means what? So this economic activities are also classified on the basis of ownership. Ownership मतलब उसका मालिक कौन है? Okay. So government ownership means the industries which are owned by the government and are run under the policies of the government are in the public sector. That what we say is the public sector. This is important thing. Public sector. This name you have to keep in mind. Government ownership matlab public sector. So the industries which are owned by the government and are run under the policies of the government are the public sector. For example, Bhilai Steel Plant, Bharat Heavy Electric Limited, that is a BHEL, what we say is. Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, that is ONGC. Now, second what we have discussed about the private, which is not a public, which is not owned by government, that is called the private. The industries which are owned and run by the private owners and termed as the private sector unit. For example, Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited, that is a TISCO, so owned by the Tata Company. Reliance, Torrent, Cadila, this all are the example. Then comes the joint. Joint sector means what? Owned by the few part will be owned by the government and few by the public or the private sector. So there are certain limitation to public sector unit. Generally we find less dedication and commitment towards the work in the public sector unit. To control this and to generate the sufficient amount of required capital, private sector units are asked to join the public sector unit. This is known as the joint sector in the government enjoy the greater control. See, one point you have to keep in mind that in the joint sector, where there will be the partnership between the government and the private company, but the hold, most hold will be with the government only. Okay, this is the important point what you have to keep in mind. Then comes the cooperative sector. See, there are many people in the country who are not economically very sound. They are not in the condition to start their own small or cottage industry. Such people make a cooperative society when they undertake the manufacturing and selling process. These units that are started with the cooperation of the group of people are known as a cooperative sector unit. For example, dairy, sugar, mill and thus. Okay, now this much you are clear. Now very important point what we will going to start is about the liberalization, privatization, globalization. In economy, see, economy is main subject. Okay, if you pursue your science or commerce stream, economy will be the important and the major subject. In that, we have to learn about the liberalization, privatization and globalization. How you will going to remember? You have to remember in the LPG. In what we are talking about? Economic. When we talk about the economy, in that you have to remember these three terms. LPG. L stand for liberalization, P stand for privatization, G stand for globalization. In science, when we talk about the LPG, so you know that the liquefied petroleum gas, that is what you know. But when we talk about the economy, you have to remember L for liberalization, P for privatization, G for globalization. Now see, before I explain this, just listen and try to understand. See, we got independence in 1947. Okay. We were ruled by Britisher for not less than 190 years. Almost it is a absolute 190 years span they ruled on us. We got independence in 1947. But at that time, our country, once it was considered as a Sone ki chidiya, Vishwaguru, but financially, we just like, we do not have anything. We have to start with the zero. So, from 5-year planning commission, 1951, our government started the 5-year commission, okay, 5-year, Panchvarshi Yojana. But still, the boost what was required for our economy, that was not getting. So in 1991, see, it is not given, but you have to keep in mind. In the year of 1991, this year you have to keep in mind. In 1991, we means our government adopt this policy of liberalization, privatization and globalization. And with this, today, India achieved, like, we are not yet developed, we are developing, but our economic growth is very nice, very wonderful. So, this all are the point, one by one I am going to explain you. Now, first talk about the liberalization. Liberal means what? Students, in a common meaning, liberal means to give the freedom. Okay? कोई चीज में छूट छाट देनी. That what we say is the liberal होना. If we are having any rule or regulation, at that time we give any type of freedom. That what we, in the common sense, we say is that's a liberal, to become a liberal. So the government has brought about the certain changes in the economic policies so as the maintain its pace with the developing world and make India developed nation. In accordance, the policy of liberalization was adopted in the year 1991. Okay. So, according to this policy, certain regulations related to the manufacturing and trade and commerce were removed. See, before 1991, there were certain limitations, there were certain rules and regulation was made up by the government. 1991 के पहले तक क्या था? गवर्नमेंट ने इंडस्ट्रीज पे, सर्विस सेक्टर पे बहुत सारे रूल्स डाले हुए थे. Of 1991, according to the liberalization, under this policy, government removed these rules. Most of the rules. Liberal कर दिया, छोड़ दिया, छूट दी. So, according to this policy, certain regulations related to the manufacturing and trade and commerce were removed. Duties and tax relaxation on import-export were announced. The process of establishing a new manufacturing unit was made simpler. As a result, India has been able to keep pace with the world in terms of production and trade and commerce. It has also generated more employment opportunities. Now government have given a number of freedom, import export duty, even the rules regulation was liberal now. So new सेटअप हुए, यूनिट्स शुरू हुए. सो अंडर दिस पॉलिसी ऑफ 1991, अंडर द लिबरलाइजेशन, गवर्नमेंट ने इकोनॉमी को बूस्ट दिया, पेस दी. देन कम्स द प्राइवेटाइजेशन. पी स्टैंड फॉर प्राइवेटाइजेशन. Privatization. Now see, after the independence, many public ventures. Privatization मतलब पहले most of units, most of industries government के अंडर में थी. अब ये प्राइवेट लोगों को बिजनेस शुरू करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट ने फ्रीडम दी, लिबरल हुए. So, after the independence, many public ventures, that is a large manufacturing projects owned by the government, were started by the government of India. With the passage of the time, this venture made less profit, incurred loss. First, what it was happened that the public venture, large industries kya thi, that was owned by the government, was started by the government. Most of the sector was controlled by the government before 1991. Now this industries profit to chodo, but loss kar rahi thi. It was not working properly. So many public venture had to be closed down for this reason. क्योंकि नुकसान हो रहा था तो गवर्नमेंट को बहुत सारे सेक्टर बंद करने पड़े. So many public venture had to be closed down for this reason. This left an impact on our economic system. The worker became the united, but the industry suffered a big loss. On the other side, the emphasis on the quality increased around the world. Now even we required a quality work, quantity as well as quality, both were required at this time. See, now we are in the globalization, as entire world is a one globe. We are one family, so here the quality and quantity both are required. So on the quality increase around the world, so the private sector started making more profit. अब गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर के सामने प्राइवेट सेक्टर ज्यादा मुनाफा कर रहे थे, प्रॉफिट कर रहे थे. So all these circumstances motivate the privatization, and government started showing inclination towards the private sector. So government has, like remove liberalization or privatization के तहत almost 3 sector. Now there are only 3 sector which are under control of the government. Rest of the sector are free for the private sectors. So government started showing the inclination towards the private sector. The joint sector is a part of the process of private sector or privatization. ये line underline कर दो. Privatization, joint sector is a part of the process. What it says? Joint sector is a part of this process. This you have to keep in mind, this process. Now third comes the globalization. Globalization, globe matlab prithvi. Now what the term what we use? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Entire world is a family. Now see, all part of the world, okay, all countries, few are developing country, few are developed nation, few are like poor countries, but we all shows the interdependence. आज पृथ्वी पे as a human from birth to death, we can't do everything by own. We have to show we are depend on others. So even in the economy, even the all countries of this world are depend on other countries. See, India, we are a developing country, we are Vishwa Guru, we are having almost all type of resources, number of things we are having, but still we are depend on other countries. We have to be like we have to focus, or we have to take a help from other country. So globalization means the world becoming one, or countries coming close to one another, as we are depend on others. We are absolute depend on other. So due to the globalization, any country of the world can trade with another country easily. Now see, Pakistan is our neighboring country, but not good friend. But Pakistan have to import number of things from our country. or India have to import? Okay. So it's integrate the markets and production unit to the various countries. The process of growing international relation and the integration to market across the world, globalization. The unique revolution in the field of information technology has stimulated the globalization. The World Trade Organization. Now this you have to remember. What you say? WTO. This is called the World Trade Organization. This is one of the organ of United Nations. Yes? So, the World Trade Organization WTO established in year 1995. This you have to remember. In the year 1995, working towards the promoting, fostering the globalization. Again, liberalization, L stand for liberalization. Liberalization means when government give a freedom to the public sector and industries and the service sectors. Privatization, जब private sectors को allow किया, joint sector is a part of this process, याद रखना है. And third comes the globalization. Globalization and WTO year 1995. Now the important point, write VIMP in your book or underline it. It is a 3-mark question. Effect of globalization. Very important point. Effect of globalization. Now see, we all like pizza. Okay. So you like to eat Uncle Sam pizza, US pizza, Domino's. We like Maggie to eat, so that is a Nestle company. So now you just think out, because of this globalization, आज हम दुनिया के हर एक अलग अलग देश की we use the things, a different product, different services from the all part of the world. That is called the globalization. Got it? See, we enjoy the facilities, services, goods from the globe. Now, it is not that we have never visited to USA, so how can we taste the Domino's pizza? Now, it is available in Bhavnagar also. So, here, this is the 3-mark question. IMP, 3-mark question. What is the question? Effects of globalization. Liberalization हुआ, साथ में privatization हुआ और globalization हुआ. So what are the effect of this globalization? Let's talk one by one. See, employment opportunities have increased in the service sector due to the advent of the information technology. So first point, employment opportunity increase. Increase in employment opportunities. Globalization होने से दुनिया की बड़ी बड़ी फैक्ट्रीज अब भारत में और दूसरे देशों में सेटअप हो रही है, बिजनेस बढ़ रहे हैं. ड्यू टू दिस, व्हाट इज द पॉजिटिव इफेक्ट? द इंक्रीज इन द अपॉर्चुनिटी, इन द एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी. देन फोन, फैक्स, मोबाइल, ईमेल, internet, video conferencing are some of the revolutionary tools of information technology, and which transfer information faster and at low cost. This has made the economic development of our country faster. This is also the benefit advantage of globalization. We are using a smartphone now. In a very near future, we will go with a 5G technology. So with this communication technology and so the world, like, you know, with the friction of the second, we can contact or we can approach to any part of the world. Then multinational companies started projects in different countries which have proved to be profitable for the host nation. Say for if Domino's is set up in our country, so even we are benefited. Nestle company is in India, it's working in India, so we are also benefited. Okay, so multinational companies started project in the different countries which have proved to be the profitable for the nation. Ford Motor has car manufacturing plant in India where cars and manufacturing not only for India but other country also. So apparently India received the advantage of this venture. Similarly, the big companies of India such as Tata Motors, Infosys, Asian Paint, Parle have export their commodities in the foreign market. जैसे हमारे देश की भी बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां डेटॉल और द मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी लाइक द रिलायंस एंड टाटा एंड द पार्ले, सो वी ऑल्सो एक्सपोर्ट नंबर ऑफ थिंग, सो इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट चलता रहता है. Then consumers get commodities of very good quality and at the low price. This is the most advantage, best advantage. So consumers get the commodities of very good quality and at the low price due to the competition. For example, China-made toys have become very popular in the Indian market due to its low price and attractive design. In 1 year only, the Chinese toys have replaced the Indian toys in 70% to 80% shop. Now the toys in the Indian market are cheaper than before. So do you know the reason? As it is called the dumping. If you remember, I have told you after Diwali that this time always tend to use things made in India. हमेशा कैसी चीजें खरीदनी है जहां पे लिखा है मेड इन इंडिया. See, do you know the reason behind this? Due to the international trade, the Chinese toy came in the Indian market and proved to be better than the Indian toys. Now see, due to globalization, we can't say no to any country. उस दिन हमारी क्लास में बात हुई थी, आपने बोला कि हम चाइना से माल ही क्यों मंगवाए, चीजें क्यों मंगवाए. But this is the time of globalization, so we can't deny it. But the thing, always tend to purchase the made in Indian thing. So the Indian toy manufacturing and traders have the incurred the losses, so globalization at that time caused loss to the cottage industry. Now think, what should the Indian toy manufacturing and traders do to increase their sale in the Indian market? तो हमारा बिजनेस बढ़े इसलिए हमें क्या करना है? वी हैव टू गो विद द गुड क्वालिटी एंड क्वांटिटी. Which multinational companies have started their project in India? So number of project, this thing na, you have to write the answer, huh, bacha party. So which multinational company have started their project in India? Which sector of Indian economy have been affected by it? Explain with the suitable example. So think, this is your homework also. Now, I think all the point what we have written right now and what we have explained, what I have explained right now, it's clear to you all. Okay, so now this is the homework time. Just write the homework first. First, important effects of globalization. Then then we will write with the what is joint sector? Explain. What is a joint sector actually? What do you understand with the joint sector? That what you have to write. And why did why did government incline towards three question. Effects of globalization. Second, what is the joint sector? And third, why did government incline towards the privatization? This is your homework. I think now all the point what we have discussed right now in this lecture, that is clear to you all. Please keep in mind this chapter is very important. This chapter is very important for your exam purpose, VIMP. Must remember LPG. That what we say is the liberalization, privatization, globalization. In next lecture, we will going to start our chapter number 10, that is following the Mahatma part 2. So again we will switch to the history part. Okay? So do your homework nicely, take care of yourself, and Jai Hind.